The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 897. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. You can now purchase The Tao of Self-Confidence, a guide to moving beyond trauma and awakening the leader within on Amazon, Barnes & Noble's, Walmart, Indigo, and other major book retailers. Get your copy today. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to The Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have an amazing lady on the show today. She's a global contingent sourcing manager, and I'm super excited to have her on and share her story with us today on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Ashley Araujo. Hi, Ashley. How are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Yeah. Hi, Sheena. Thank you so much. Yes, I am a global contingent sourcing manager at Salesforce. I started my career in the contingent space many, many years ago and started out as a recruiter and slowly worked my way up into the role that I'm at now. I think I've been in every path of the contingent workforce landscape. So I've been on the client side, the staffing agency side, and on the MSP side as well. So very happy to be where I'm at and happy to be on this podcast today.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And I know we met through the US Pac Wise program, which has been such an amazing program to connect with other ladies and just be able to work on our careers as well. And Ashley, what's your cultural background?
Yeah, so I come from a mixed family. My mother is primarily a European, mostly German, and my father is actually a Nigerian. So I have kind of a blended background, which is pretty interesting growing up, but yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And what'd be your favorite self-confidence quote?
There are a lot to choose from, but I think if I had to pick one, this one's from Maya Angelou, and it is, I love myself for who I am, but I also love myself for who I am becoming.
I love that quote. I think that's the first Maya Angelou quote I've ever heard. I've heard a lot of her quotes, but this is the first time I've heard of it, and it's so true. While we love ourselves in the present moment, we also, learn to love who we are or who we become in the future. So I love that you mentioned that. And in your own words, how do you define self-confidence?
I think self-confidence I think it's a little bit challenging, right? Because, I think there's aspects and areas of one's own life where, you might feel more confident than others, right? But I think for me, it's, learning to be like more content with some of the things that I have achieved and not always coming from this place of, oh, well, I could have done this differently, or, oh, well, I could have done this better, or I'm not as good as this person that's, maybe one step ahead of me in their career who has this, right? But, it's really about loving yourself and loving yourself in the moment for who you are.
Thanks for sharing that. And I love that definition that you mentioned, loving yourself in that present moment, because especially as women, we tend to, like you mentioned, compare, feel bad about ourselves, feeling like, well, she did better than I did. And really, it's all about being content with what you have at that moment. And we can always strive to be better. And, we should learn to not compare our chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Everyone's in their own journey. We're going to have our own experiences that we're going to face and challenges. And so these experiences will shape us to be the person that we are today. So I love that definition that you mentioned. And Ashley, what was your life like before you discovered self-confidence?
Chaotic. I think I was, always just a little bit all over the place. I was just such an anxious child and, also teenager. And I was, sort of thrown into a new school at a very, challenging age of the age of 14, right? So I'm just a young girl finding herself in this world and, also just a mixed child as well, right? And I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood and white schools and it was every day was a challenge. And it was just always trying to mix in with everybody, trying to be what everyone's version that they thought I should be. Right. And I honestly think that it took me years to get to a point in my life where I was like, okay, this is who I am. I'm accepting myself for who I am right now, and this is who I want to be. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't even think I achieved that until I was probably in my 30s. It took me quite a long time to get there. But yeah, it was a lot of questioning. It was, a lot of self-doubt. And just there were a lot of people I think throughout my time in my career too, especially in this industry where it was such like a male dominated industry for such a long time. And I think that if I had just listened to a lot of the naysayers, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today. But yeah, it was challenging. It was hard.
Thanks for sharing that. And it's not always easy to, if you feel like you're the odd one out, right? You feel like you don't belong, especially being raised in a mixed family. You're not one or the other. You're like stuck in this gray area, and it's like, where do I belong? But I'm glad you were able to work through that. And what was that aha moment that made you realize you were more than enough to go out there and be who you are today, have that confidence, especially, um, you know, working in the field that you're in, right? There's not many women who are in that field. So what was that aha moment for you?
Yeah, I think it really happened when, I was being promoted in one of my previous roles at my previous company. And it was like, wow, these people really believe in me, and they believe in my skill, and they believe in who I am as a professional individual, and they've chosen me to represent them as a company at conferences or speaking engagements. And so I think that's really when it clicked for me that, like, okay, like I that was just the reinforcement I think that I needed within not only my personal life but also just within my career. Somebody just completely believing in me and my ability to do my job and to do my job well.
Thanks for sharing that. And it's funny, right? Like we have no belief in ourselves sometimes, or we think we're not capable, or we feel like we have low self-worth, not realizing someone from a second or third pair of eyes thinks you're amazing, you are, capable, you can make this happen. And sometimes it takes that to realize, right? Like, even being part of the US Pac Wise cohort, all these women are telling you, you can do this, this is amazing, keep on going. You have skills and abilities that nobody else does. And when you surround yourself with people like that, then it helps you build your confidence to say, I can do this. What else can I achieve? What's the next step? Nothing will bring me down. So I love that. And because of that, what's your life been like now?
It's been, I think I just have a little bit more pep in my step, I guess you could say, right? Like I feel more reinforced in my decision making. I feel more reinforced as an individual who I am, not just like within the professional world, but also, my personal world, right? Like your career just ties so much into your personal life too, like who you are as a person. And it's just so interesting because like the person who I am at home is just so different from the person that I am, at work, right? Like you try to separate the two, but it just allows me to be more decisive and to be more, I guess, encouraged, like as an individual and as a leader, to be able to make decisions, but also stick behind those decisions, right? And like not allow people to second guess me or, well, I've been in this industry, the double the time that you have. So, I think I know a little bit more, right? And so it's just every day choosing to believe in yourself.
I love that. That should be a new slogan. Every day, choose to always believe in yourself. It's definitely a great reminder. So thanks for sharing that. And Ashley, if our listeners were tuning into your episode and they're going through a similar situation in their journey of confidence, what'd be that one tip you would give to them?
Might be a long-winded one, but the one tip that I would give to anybody in this position is, I mean, truly, don't give up. I think there are always going to be so many challenges along the way and so many people that will doubt you, will second guess you, and will tell you that you can't do it. I think I honestly had a lot of people from my hometown that I was from that was like, college is too expensive. You're never going to be able to pay it off. You're never going to go. You're never going to get your degree. It's too much. And, if I had listened to them, I wouldn't even be half the person I am today. And I had to wake up and choose myself every single day because I just knew that I was my biggest believer and there was nobody else that I could rely on. And I think when you can truly be by yourself and truly believe in yourself and love yourself and encourage yourself, I think that that's going to keep you pushing every single day. There will be so many challenges, so many hurdles, and so many things that you will have to get over. But I look back at all of that now, and it truly just made me so much more of a better individual. I'm just even going through some of those struggles. So don't give up. Keep your head up. There truly is light at the end of the tunnel. And if it doesn't feel like it, lean on friends, lean on family, join a women's group or any group of any sort, right? There are people out there who care, and there are people out there that are willing to bet on you and willing to help you.
Thanks for sharing that great tip. And if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, they can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to share that link with you as well. But yes, I am active on LinkedIn, and I would love to connect with anyone.
Thanks so much. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Ashley, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for Ashley's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else that we talked about. And I just want to thank Ashley today for taking the time to share her story and tips with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much, Ashley.
Thank you, Sheena.
Not a problem. It was such an honor having you on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. You can order your copy of Asian Women Who Boss Up book by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.